There was a time in my career where I was crippled by indecisiveness. I didn't know whether to stay at the job, to leave the job, to build the thing, not to build the thing. I literally could not make a decision about my life outside of work for love or money. And it wasn't because I didn't know what I wanted. It was a muscle problem because somewhere along the road of building my career, I'd lost the ability to actually own a decision because I spent my entire career in execution mode. I had completely forgotten what ownership mode even felt like, because when you're in a job, you're constantly executing someone else's direction, someone else's instructions for someone else's goals. The whole system is built around you being able to deliver inside parameters that someone else has set. You're never the one actually calling the shots. You might think you are. You might have senior or director in your title, but the structural decisions, the strategic ones, the ones that change the direction of the work, those got made somewhere above you, okay? You just executed them really well. And when you start doing your own thing, or even just seriously thinking about doing your own thing, you're suddenly the one setting the direction. You're the one calling the shots. You're the one making the decisions, sometimes with incomplete information, sometimes when you're tired, sometimes when you genuinely don't feel like doing it anymore. And there's no one above you to sign it off, no one to validate it, and no one to absorb the consequences if you fuck up. You literally have to own those decisions. You have to own that lane. Nobody ever talks about is that most people who spent 10, 15, 20 years inside corporate have never developed that muscle, because the only place you get to practice it is outside of your job. That's why I'd been frozen for so long, because I'd technically been senior enough to make decisions for years. I had the knowledge, I had the experience, but the version of me that got good at corporate got really good at executing and not owning a decision all the way through. This is why I'm such an advocate for everybody having something of their own on the side, whether it generates you income or not. Side note, if you still don't know what to build outside of your job, I do have a tool in my bio called the Skills to Income tool, which literally does that for you. You answer a series of questions. It tells you which of your skills could be making you money outside of work, how to sell them, and what you could realistically charge. Because the practice in decision making, the practice in agency, the practice in autonomy, that when you don't do that outside of your job, those are the things that corporate just drains from you. You don't even realize it's gone until you try to use it. That's the scary part.